everyone, welcome to Sleepy Notes Club. I hope you're all doing well. So today I bring you my 2026 journal lineup, and I am very excited to show you every single notebook that I used in 2025 and the ones that are gonna be coming with me into the new year. Now, before we start, I do think I need to give you a little disclaimer. If you're someone that gets overwhelmed by a lot of notebooks, then this video may not be for you. I have about 8 different villages or clusters of notebooks that I don't use every day, but I do use regularly, and they all kind of form my journaling system. So yeah, heads up, there's gonna be a lot of them in this video. So what I think I'm gonna do to kind of avoid confusion, since there's so many notebooks to go through, I am gonna divide each into like the frequency in which I use them. I am gonna start with the ones I use every day, then the ones I use every week, and then the ones that I use when something interesting happens or when I want to tackle a hobby or an interest that I have. So yeah, keeping that in mind, I am gonna start with the one because there's actually only one that I do use every day. This one is a unbranded leather cover. I got it on Vinted when I was living in the UK last year. I don't know who made it, but whoever did is a genius. I love the leather and the feel of it. It's one of my favorite covers in general, and yeah, it holds the only 2 journals that I'm gonna be using every day in 2026, which are also the newest additions to my system. First of all, my 2026 Novelty. It's my first time owning and trying a Novelty product, and I am loving it. This is gonna be my social media kind of tracker, so it's a mix between a planner and a journal, and I'm hosting it in this kind of weekly layout that Novelty has, and I really love. I already set up the whole thing. I have a couple of my family's photos as always to make me open my planners. I have a little inbox when I wanna paste post-it notes, things like that. But yeah, I love the layout of this planner. I do like to keep track of my posts or any milestones that I had on Instagram or YouTube here. I tipped in a lot of extra pages so I can do some goals and wins in terms of Sleepy Notes Club. And also I'm using the back pages to kind of make sections to record the reels that I want to film and the photos that I'm gonna upload, and also some ideas for YouTube. So yeah, this is gonna be my social media kind of planner, and I do like to have it together with this second notebook that I'm gonna show you, which is the one I'm probably the most excited about. This one is kind of the biggest deal and change in my system as of now. This is an A6 Hobonichi, and I am gonna be using it as my one line a day, as you can see here. And I say it's a big deal because if you ever watch my videos or seen anything on my like social media, you will know that my one line a day is the practice that I love the most and the one that I'm the most consistent. Up until 2025, I've always had it in a Moleskine pocket. This is my 2024 one line a day. I used to just make my own calendars and write one line a day here, decorate a little bit, and then have the rest of the pages to just journal a bit more and write about my day and if something interesting happened, things like that. But now I want to change. It's my second year that I had this one, and so I really needed something different, and I decided on the Hobonichi because I've been wanting to own and kind of create a routine using a Hobonichi that I actually love. The wigs didn't work for me, so I thought this one would be the perfect addition because I love the size. I think I prefer this A6 size to the wig size. I think it'll be really cool to write a little extract of what happened during my day, or I've been thinking of starting to illustrate again, so I may actually transform it into a one line a day / scrapbook / art art journal kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know, it's a little project that I want to take on, and I have high expectations for it, so we will see how it goes. And I already set it up a little bit. I have a couple pictures of me and my parents. By the way, this is a business card from my dad back in the day, so the phone and the address they don't exist anymore. This is from like the 60s, so it's all fine. And I can show you real quick how I set it up because I'm very excited for this one. I think I'm gonna use this tracker section for like tracking my whole kind of life in terms of health. So I'm just gonna do like my movement, if I worked out, if I had a balanced day, if I had a day with my husband, things like that. So this is gonna be where I'm gonna be tracking everything, and I think I'm gonna use some cute colors, no structure, just kind of like different colors to mark the days that I did something like productive. So yeah, that's the tracker section, and this is how I'm gonna be using the monthly calendar. I already started December, which I'm very thankful that Hobonichi usually gives us December as well to kind of warm up to the pages. So I have been doing the same thing I was doing in my Moleskine, writing my one line a day here. I just decorated it with my star stickers as always, and here as well with some more of these stickers that I found in the street market. And I have been such a fan of tipping in new pages, so I think I'm gonna definitely continue that in my system and my setup. I started by tipping in and adding this old school napkin set that I got as well in my street market, and I love the look of it. It's Christmassy, it's festive, so I just literally added the page, and on the other side I pasted another scrapbook album that I also got, and I love the look of them. I don't know who these people are, but I think they look happy, and so I'm happy to have them in my journal as well. And I also added this Oura ring, so it's the packaging because I got my Oura ring this month. I want to be more health conscious next year, so this is a big deal for me, and I wanted to paste it here as well. And I'm definitely going to paste something else in here, but not yet because I don't know what else. We'll see later. But yeah, this is basically what I'm doing. And then before the daily pages, they give you a little like coming up January, like a little heads up for the month. And I'm gonna use that to write my wins. As you know, that's a big deal for me, my wins of the month. And here I also am writing and keeping track of my 2026 goals before the start of the year. Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. It's my first time owning a Hobonichi that is not a Wix, and I don't know, have high hopes, like I said, for this one. So yeah, these two are the only journals that I'm going to be using every day. And yeah, I think having these two in one place makes a lot of sense. And in here, I'm just keeping, like always, just really quick, some pictures of me and my dad again, my star stickers, my dot stickers, and my sticker release paper from the Traveler's Notebook as well, just in case. So yeah, that is my first village. I like to call it village. I don't know why, but it's just like a group of notebooks and it just sounds cozier. So that's the first one. That's the most important one as of now in my setup. And I'm very happy to start the year with this one specifically. Now, apart from this one, all the other journals I use regularly. So for example, next up, I think I'm going to show you my junk journal. You've seen this before. It's super chunky. And the reason why this goes after my last one is because I usually use this. It could be every day, maybe sometimes once a week. It doesn't matter. Whenever I find something that I like the look of, but I don't want to throw away, then it goes into my junk journal. I have it in these Traveler's Notebook passport size. I think it's the olive green cover, even though it doesn't look very olive green. And my junk journal is hosted in this Moleskine pocket notebook, which it always impresses me how well they can take so many extra pages and like cutouts and stuff like that. So yeah, this is my junk journal. I'm definitely gonna bring it into the new year with me. It gives me a lot of peace to know that I don't have to throw away anything paper related that I like, and that I have a place for it always in one of my journals, which is this one. And you will find things like cutouts that I find again in charity shops or in my local street market, also packaging, things that my best friend brings me because she knows I like journaling, and she always kind of brings me postcards and stuff like that, or receipts, and so I paste them here as well. I also like to scrapbook a lot. That's actually one one of my main forms of like being creative. So when I find myself destroying a magazine or a book for my journals and I am left with other pieces of paper that I don't want to bin, then they make their way into this journal. So it just makes me feel really nice to know that there's always a place for everything in my system. And this is the last couple of pages that I've been recording in December, a lot of Christmassy bits, like packaging and labels. And yeah, it's always really nice and peaceful to keep up with this specific journal. I need to buy a new one very soon because I only have a couple of pages left, but still, up until the end, I think this one is one of my favorites as well. The next journal that I want to show you that I also use at least once a week is my reading journal. And this one I have in my A6 Paper Republic portfolio. And I know this looks a bit weird. I had an accident. I dropped some ink in here and I tried to rub it off. And of course, I made it worse. So I ordered their balm, I think it's called. So maybe I can try and salvage this cover. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I usually don't mind scratches, but I think something like this does. So hopefully the balm will work. Like I said, here I'm keeping my reading journal, and this is a Stalogy A6 notebook and a picture of me, like always, just to remind me of the good old days and make me feel even cozier. And yeah, I think I've shown you this before. I just like to keep track of the books I read and also the quotes and maybe some thoughts that I have, and depending on if I like the book or not. I also like to add in a lot of pages, and I like to paste a lot of scrapbook pieces of paper as well. So yeah, I just like to go and be more creative with my reading journal. It really kind of motivates me more to pick up a book or continue a book that maybe I'm struggling with, because I just really wanna fast forward and go to the part when I get to journal the book and my thoughts and everything. So definitely gonna be continuing this in 2026, and I do hope I can do something for this cover. It doesn't even have the thread here, just because I had been trying to salvage it in some way, kind of rub it off, but I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Now, another Stalogy A6 notebook that I keep and that I love is my Commonplace book, and it's very chunky, but I love the look. It makes me feel really happy and that they are kind of well loved. So yeah, my Commonplace book I've also shown before. I just like to paste things from my childhood, if it's personal, if it's some learnings or pieces of articles as well. Sometimes I comment on them, sometimes I don't. I'm more of a visual kind of person, so I mostly like to just paste things that interest me. For example, this was my collection of washi tapes, brochures, cutouts from my favorite books, magazines. So basically anything that doesn't have a place in any of my other journals, but it's not really a junk journal piece of paper. So I am interested in the subject matter, or I want to comment a bit more about it, or is something useful for me for the future, or maybe it's too personal for me to put either in my junk journal and it's not recent enough to put in my Dear Diary, then it goes here. So yeah, my Commonplace basically is kind of like my catch-all. So it's very personal and impersonal at the same time. So everything that I own, like paper, has a place in at least one of my journals basically. So yeah, I hope it makes sense. Now I want to show you the journal that I only use when something interesting happens, say a trip or a birthday or a big like event, and this is my Dear Diary. This cover is from Chick Sparrow and it's in the B6 size, and it also holds another Stalogy notebook. And this one is probably one of my chunkiest ones, as you can see. I think between Moleskine and Stalogy, I probably prefer Stalogy a bit more, because I have never seen a notebook taken so much extra pages. And I have only used about half of the notebook, which is crazy. But yeah, this is my Dear Diary, and I only write in it when there's any birthday or, like I said, a trip. This is 100% personal. I write about what happened during my life, if I went on a date with my husband, if there was any holidays. For example, this was Valentine's Day. We went on a trip to San Miguel de Allende as well. and yeah, something very close to my heart. And I'm just waiting for Christmas to come so I can dedicate the last spread of the year for the festivities. This one definitely also coming with me into 2026, and I wonder how it's gonna look next year. I predict it's gonna be about this size with everything I'm gonna be adding. But yeah, very satisfying as well. Next up is my Paper Republic journal. This is a Grand Voyager in the A5 size. And I forget the color as always, I will put it in the description down below. And this cover specifically hosts my scrapbook or scrapbooking journals. So let me show you. They look like this. This first notebook is also from Paper Republic. It is a dotted book refill, I think it's called. And this is my main kind of scrapbook. So the difference between this one and say the junk journal is that here I just paste things that I don't want to trash. It could be a packaging sticker that I like the look of, or it could be a brochure that I like, but I don't think too much of it. There's nothing special about it. It's just I like the look of it. But in here, I scrapbook and paste things that mean something more. Not only do I like the look of them, but they also make me feel something else. For example, these were part of my trip to New York City when I was like 13 or something, so very special. And I made a little collage of it. These are some receipts from my mom's collection from the 90s as well. So again, I want to make a little bit more of a deal with it. The last couple spreads I made, for example, they are Christmas inspired, and I just found all of these bits in my street market like always. This was a Christmas gift bag, and this was a giant Santa. I also found these little labels. This one as well I made with the things I found. So basically it's a way for my brain to separate things that are just pretty, junk journal, or they're pretty but meaningful, and I can make a deal of them and feel more creative, you know, making all these layouts. So that is kind of the difference between, to me at least, a junk journal and my scrapbook. These are also part of the stuff I made in December. This is a part of the Glossier water bottle that I bought as well, and I found these brochures in a book that I bought, and they were kind of like tucked in between the pages. So of course I wanted to paste them here. They just look so cool. And I don't know, it's just very kind of self-care-ish for me, this practice of keeping all my paper and making something out of them. This is also a Paper Republic folder. Here I keep more of my stickers, and on the back also some pieces of paper that I think will look good in a layout. And this folder holds two mini, I don't know if they're called book refills or insert refills or just refills, but they are also from Paper Republic, but they are the ones that are just very thin. And this one is my label collection that I've shown before. So this is where I paste all the labels that I see in the wild, from packaging, from food, from drinks, fruits, things like that. And the next one is anything that is not really food and fruit. I think with this you can tell that I'm a paper hoarder, and the whole point of my journal system is to allocate all my paper in different sections so I can feel very good that I still have a home for everything paper related in any of my journals. So that's basically the point. And my second to last village is this one. This is also a Paper Republic Grand Voyager in the color black, also A5. And this one holds probably two of my most creative journals. The first one is my book journal, not to be confused with my reading journal. My reading journal is just for books, like literature books that I read and I want to track. And my book journal is the place where I journal and track all the lifestyle books, craft books, gardening books that I found in charity shops and that I found in my street market and that I rescue. This is where I keep track of them, because those are the two kind of books that I consume, literature and lifestyle. I have a little inbox here for post-it notes and reminders. I have my index here with my book log of hobbies and crafts, and this is where I write all the ones that I keep track of here. And this was part of a magazine that I really love. Again, my book log, some more tipped in pages, my to be read hobbies and crafts with all the different books that I like to collect. You can pause and check it out if you're interested as well. I just find that these books have a very nice range of illustrations and nice looking imagery and pictures that I like to use in my journals and my scrapbook. I basically collect my books to use them in all my other notebooks, and I also like to keep track of them, of course. For example, this was one of my first books that I found in a charity shop last year, and I just do a little kind of like summary of it. I'm very interested to record the year that it was released. For example, this one is 1989, a little photo from the same book, so this is what you can expect from it. Very beautiful book, I love it. This one is a book from my mom's collection back from the 80s, and this one is about knitting, and it's from Reader's Digest, which is my favorite kind of, what is it called, like house or editorial. I love Reader's Digest books. And so yeah, I just read a bit where I found it, what it means to me, and a little imagery of what you will find in the book. This one was also from the same book, and I made a little pocket here from all these cutouts that I still wanted to keep here as well. There you go, that one. And this one is one of my favorite gardening books as well. And I just did a little illustration here because I'm trying to do this more often in 2026. I want to be more present. I want to create more art with my own hands. I am an illustrator, but I usually am a digital kind of person with my iPad and all these things, but now I'm trying to go back to my roots and grab my color pencils and my markers, and I'm trying to make a deal of illustrating for the next year. And this is the last book I recorded. I still have a lot to go, but I'm slowly making my way through all of them so I can record them in here. And this one is Martha Stewart's, like a recipe book from 1992. I use this one a lot for my Dear Diary. When we go on a dinner and I want to record it, I usually scrapbook with this specific one, and I just think it looks very nice. So yeah, that is my book journal. And I forgot to say, this is a Moleskine A5 journal as well. And this is another Moleskine notebook, but this one is a hardcover, and this one here is a soft cover. And this is the newest edition in terms of my hopes and expectations for the new year. So I want to start, like I said, illustrating and creating art with my own hands. And this is my new scrapbook. It's A5 size, of course. And I haven't started it yet. I'm probably gonna start either next week or at the beginning of the year, and I'm just gonna use it to experiment with my art and trying to transition from my digital art to traditional kind of sort of art. So very excited about that one, and this is my little kind of artsy village. Now the last one, finally, the last journal I want to show you is this little one here that's been waiting patiently. This one hosts another one of my sketchbooks, just so I can also experiment with which size of page I buy with. And yeah, this one is in a traveler's notebook, passport size. This is a Paper Republic folder, and this is also a Paper Republic insert that I'm gonna use to record my wish list in terms of like art. So if I want to get new color pencils or markers, all the brands that I want to get at one point, ideas on what to illustrate, kind of reference what I want to do. Do I want to do more nature and cottages and houses, which is what I like to do in my digital art, or do I want to do something else? I also want to do some color studies and stuff like that, so I think I may do the studies either in my A5 and maybe do the actual sketches here, who knows. But yeah, this one is just a little help for me to keep track of the things I need to develop this new hobby, hopefully. And this one, the last journal I want to show you, is, like I said, my sketchbook. It is in a Moleskine pocket hardcover journal. I am going to start it very soon, hopefully next week, which is Christmas, and so I'm not going to do anything. I have a lot of time, and yeah, this is going to be another one of my sketchbooks that I'm very excited to continue in 2026. The the last thing I want to show you real quick are my two journal bags or pouches that I use. So the first one is my favorite one. This is a Sunny Clover Lane pouch, and I bought this secondhand on Vinted as well. I was very lucky because it also came with this patch that says crafts, and I think this is just so me. This and my pencil case, they're both kind of cottagey style. They're so me that when I saw it for the first time, I was like enamored. I was like, I need to have that. So I'm using this to hold my Hobonichi and my social media tracker here, my junk journal here as well, my book journal, my scrapbook, and my sketchbook too as well, which I can just slot in here. So that is my pouch that I bring with me when I journal, either in the living room or on my room and stuff. And the other one I use is this lovely Vera Bradley bag. It used to be a bag, but I removed the straps, are they called straps? Handles or whatever, and now use it as a planner or journal pouch, of course. And here I keep the ones that I don't use nearly as often. For example, my Dear Diary that only comes out maybe 2 times a month, and my Commonplace book as well, just when I find something interesting to write about. And so these two rest here very cozily. So yeah, that was my 2026 journal lineup. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too confusing. And if you want to see any journal in depth, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll definitely film a video in more detail. Happy festivities, happy Christmas if you celebrate. Hope you guys have an amazing time with family and friends, being cozy and warm, enjoying the holidays. Also, Happy New Year if I don't see you before that. And thank you so much for watching.